Hi, welcome back. I'm Roseanne Vanella, professional mediator and founder of Advanced Mediation Solutions. We've been doing a series of videos in order to help couples who are going through divorce or separation during the COVID-19 crisis. I've been recording these videos with the expertise of Natasha Weston of Weston Psychotherapy in Moorestown, New Jersey. And Natasha has been a great collaborator on these videos in order to give you as much professional information and advice as possible. Hi, Natasha, welcome back.
Thank you, Roseanne. It's so good to be back.
Great. So quickly going over, this will be our part 4 video in the series. The first video that we did together, we talked about couples each being able to manage with their anxieties that many people are experiencing during this COVID-19 crisis, but especially couples who are in the process of divorce or had been thinking about it and are ready to go through it. The second video we did focused on the children. So if you're, in the middle of a divorce, separation, and you have children, how can we protect the children and also help manage their anxieties? The third video we did was on communication, healthy communication. And today we're going to talk about actually managing conflict, which if you can be successful at managing conflict, naturally it's going to reduce the amount of conflict between each other. And most of all, the feeling and the sense in the home with families, children, and other family members that you might be living with. It's certainly understandable that, I don't care what kind of divorce couples are going through. It can be an amicable one, or it can be an extremely contentious one. There's always a certain level of conflict, and really what it comes down to is the ability on managing that conflict. So, Natasha, can you please provide some helpful tips on how individuals can manage the amount of conflict that's going on?
So I just want to say, first of all, most of us, it doesn't matter if we're single, married, divorcing, most of us are in what we would kind of call a fight-flight mode right now. There's so much fear and concern about life and death issues that it's going to naturally increase the amount of conflict. Rather than avoiding it, because really there really are some life-death issues and big issues that do need to be addressed. Figuring out ways to do that is really possible with a few tips. The first one I'm going to say is keep your eye on the prize. Before you begin, really make sure that the other person's ready to engage in a topic with you that might be really conflictual. Second thing is make sure the kids aren't around if you can. Go out on the porch, go in the backyard, go to a different room.
Wait until they're asleep, either early in the morning or late at night.
Right. And then when you begin, make sure you're very, very focused on one or two things that you want to accomplish in that conversation. Don't have it be all of the things that have frustrated you about this relationship since it began. Just focus on the one or two things that are really, really important. The second tip is once you've asked for what you want or need to be different, wait. A lot of people make the mistake of over-explaining and continuing to go at the same point from 10,000 different angles.
Or even just pressuring the other person to respond. And, and so many people, we're all made differently. So many people need time to absorb what's being said and time to think about it and be thoughtful.
It's a great negotiating skill in general, is just wait and allow the other person the space and time they need to respond. If they distract or if they change the topic, gently bring them back to it, but then wait again, give them time to respond. I would say try 3 times. It's like baseball, 3 strikes you're out. Try 3 times. If they still distract or try to avoid it, let it go for now. The last tip, I think, is the most important. It's called, different clients call it different things. Sometimes they call it a pause. Sometimes I call it the grown-up timeout. And clients who are business people often call it tabling it. They say, let's table this until we're both calmer, and then maybe we can try again. Sometimes, because of that fight flight, the intensity of our reactions overwhelms the rest of our system, and we can't think straight, and we're steam coming out of our ears, and we're repeating ourselves, or we start to raise our voice. Those are all signs that it's time to table it. Let it go for now, and make sure you come back to it when you're both calmer. You could then go off and find a way to get centered, blow off steam with a friend, get centered again. When you can come back to that prize, when you can come back to that main point and stay focused on it, make sure you do.
And Natasha, if I can just maybe add one more piece of advice, is to really have a clear purpose and understanding of your communication, and where and how you want the conversation to go. So it's really helpful to kind of, prep for the conversation. Don't just bring up things out of the blue. And like Natasha said, if somebody eating their cereal bothered you 5 years ago, like this isn't the time to be bringing that up, quite frankly. So really try to focus and gather all of your thoughts calmly before you actually start engaging. But wonderful, wonderful information, Natasha. Our next video is going to be on focusing on the future. So this is really great because, especially in mediation, what we do is we take care of the here and now. We don't talk a lot about the past because the past isn't going to help us move forward. So we're going to help you to look to the future and move beyond all of this, move beyond this crisis, be able to move beyond in your relationships of maybe being someplace that you really don't want to be right now. So thank you, Natasha. It's always a pleasure having you. And I look forward to our next topic.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Great to be here.